sets of charms, double the fun, double the earrings. Hey there, I'm Dina. I'm a pharmacist by day, joy designer always. This is part of my personal challenge series where I'm creating 10 projects from every single piece in the June 2025 Jesse James Magical Mystery Bead Box called Southern Shores. Today I'm using the Oh Shell Yes and the So-fish-ticated charms to make 2 pairs of fun coastal earrings. So let's dive in. Alright, so for these earrings, we're going to make the companions to these 2 pairs. And these are with the charms that came in this month's kit. So this is the little puffer fish on the right, and then the shell that's on the left. So for that, you're going to need some 22 gauge wire of some sort, and you'll need to cut off a total of 4 pieces of about 6 3/4 to 7 inches, somewhere around in there, of wire. Because we're going to do the same thing with both pairs of earrings. So go ahead and get yourself cut off your pieces of wire, and then make sure that they're all kind of warmed up a little bit and everything, a little bit easier to move around and all that. So I'm going to take my bail making pliers. I'm going to make a loop on one end. So make sure I'm going to use the second size loop, the one that I use the most of. That one, make sure that your wire is not, you can't feel it on this side when you rub your finger up against it. That means that you're flush cut to it, and go ahead and twist it around until it hits the other side of the wire. And see how it is once it focuses. See how it's touching there? Now, with it being touching, I'm going to put the pliers back to where the smallest step is right up against to where the wires are touching, and then I'm going to go backwards a little bit. Just a little bit, and then that will help kind of get it into more of a shepherd's hook look to it. Now, the first thing you want to do is that if you're not completely closed, like you could see a little bit of daylight in between the end of the wire and the side, you need to make sure that this is closed all the way. Because we're starting with 15 O's, and those 15s will get stuck in that loop. You probably won't lose the 15s, but they'll get stuck in the loop, and it gets to be a little bit of a pain in the butt to try to get it fixed and everything. So that's all you do. Just make sure your loop is completely closed. And let's start off with the shell. The shell, the pattern for this one, and get some of the seed beads out. Oops. And I'm throwing seed beads somewhere on my desk. Alright, the pattern for this one is going to be 7 15s. So we're going to pick up 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then 5 11s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 3 8s. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to go backwards. So we did an increase basically. We did 7 15s. 5 11s and 3 8s. Now we're going to go 5 11s, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 7 15s. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that is basically your repeat. So 7, 5, 3, 5, and 7. So then you would start off with the 11 O's next time. And then you get 5 of these, and then 3 of your 8s, and then go backwards to the 11s again. So you should be able to get a total of, oh, how many was it? I think it was 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 sets of your 8 O's, and then just make sure that you're starting with the 15s and ending with the 15s. So go ahead and get those onto your loop, and then meet me back, and I'll show you how to create the roundness of the loop of the earrings. So meet me back in a second. seed beads onto my loop, onto my wire. So now we need to make the loop on the other side. So I know from experience that holding my wire from about right here on my index finger is about what I need to do, the length that I need as far as to make that 2mm loop with my bail making pliers. So I'm going to go to the edge of my finger and just cut off the excess, and then put that aside, and then grab the bail making pliers and then do the same thing that we did on the other side. So make sure you can't feel anything on your fingers in between, when the wire's in between the pliers, the jaws, and then wrap around until it touches the other side, and then go backwards just a little bit to make a little shepherd's hook look. Then, just like we did on the other one, we want to make sure that this loop is completely closed. So just swing it back and forth like you would if it was a pair of jump rings, and then now you have your loop complete. So now how do you make it into that more of a rounded shape? Whoops. If you need to, you can use your bracelet mandrel, which is what I used. So I just wrapped this around the smallest little portion of the bracelet mandrel, and then just made sure that it kind of touched a little bit on either side, and then that just kind of helped me to form it into more of a circle and a rounded form. So it wasn't so much of just kind of wonkiness, basically. And it was a little bit easier to be able to attach the ear wire and things like that. So that's what you want to do next, is just make sure that you form this into more of a circle. Now I found it a little bit easier to take your ear wire and add that next. My seed beads are going everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my ear wire by twisting it to the side. And I'm using gold-filled ear wires today. This one feels like it's actually soldered together. That's not good. Oh, okay, there it goes. Yeah, I'm using gold-filled ear wires for this one today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that both these circles are touching each other, that are one's on top of the other. I'm trying to get this to where it's easy to hold. There we go. One's on top of the other. I'm going to drop the ear wire in. And this type of ear wire that I'm using, I'm just dropping it in and then making sure that it loops around like that to help kind of keep it closed. Then we need to close up the ear wire. And then once that's done, it'll help kind of keep your two loops there a little bit easier for you to be able to handle. Now if it's still too much of an issue, like it's coming apart like that, go ahead and form it a little bit more with your fingers. If you need to, you can squish it a little bit more, because you can always put this back on the mandrel and then round it back out again here in a minute. So this was probably the part that was a little bit more difficult than any of the other parts. I was trying to put the jump rings on with the loops moving around and everything. So easiest way that I found to do it was just to do it one at a time. So just pick up one of your jump rings, squish those two loops together again, and then I'm going from the back of the earring towards the front, and I'm looping around that first loop, and then now I'm looping around the second loop and not catching on to the ear wire. And then this is the part that became the hardest to do. It's really not that hard, it's just kind of tedious, and sometimes your ear or the wire would pop out like it did just then. Okay, so now I'm between both of them. I'm going to lay it down on the mat to give me a little bit more stability, and then try to grab that other side of the jump ring and then close this up. And I'm using the stainless steel ear wire or jump rings again, so sometimes that makes it a little bit more harder for me to close them. See if we can do this again. If not, I'll just do this off screen and then I'll come back and show you the other amount or the other steps to do to finish off the earring. And then I'll show you the pattern for the pufferfish earrings, which are extremely cute. Okay, let's see if I can get this to sit down. There we go. Okay, we're going to pinch this closed. That should help me, and it did, so that's good. Okay, let's just make sure that's completely closed. Okay, so that now has your ear wire plus a jump ring sitting down underneath it, just like that. So I'm going to form this just a little bit more just to kind of give it a second to maybe not move around so much. Alright, so to add your shell, we're going to put a total of 5 more jump rings on. So I'm going to loop onto this jump ring, and I have some of my jump rings already closed, so I'm going to grab one of my closed ones, because these are jump rings that actually came open already. A lot of times when you get jump rings, they're already closed, and you have to open them and then close them again. Well, these already came open like this. They already came pre-opened. So that is 3 jump rings, so this is 4. And find another closed one on my mat somewhere. There's 5. And then get that one closed up. Oops. And then find another open one, and then on number 6 here, we are going to add our shell. So we're going to add this onto the current jump ring, and then we're going to add the shell. And there we go. So there is that. Now you can either play around with it and just kind of reform it back to the shape that it was. You can also get your mandrel back out again and then put it on the mandrel, and then just make sure that it goes down kind of tight like that, and then that'll help to kind of round it back out again. And then when you're happy with the way it looks, then you have a pair of earrings when you get the other one done. So that is the next project done, which is project 8. Project number 8 is done. So meet me back and we'll finish project number 9. Alright, so here is earring number 2. I went ahead and did the majority of it so that way you didn't have to see me struggle through trying to add the jump rings and all of that again. So I'll go through the pattern really quick. So it's very similar to the shell pattern as far as the seed beads. We have 7 15s, we have 5 of the 11s, 3 of the 8s, which these are crystal, but those are there's 3 8s sitting there, and then 5 11s, 7 15s, and then this is the difference. We have 1 8 in between the 2 15s, and then you start over again. Then you have 15s, 5s, 3s, 5s, 15s, and then your 1 8. So that way it ends up being just a slightly different pattern, but a similar type look to it, where you have 3 total of your single 8/0 seed beads sitting there. And then just make sure you start and end with your 15s on either side. And then do the same thing. You round off your wire in the same fashion, add your ear wire, add your jump rings, and now we need to add our cute little pufferfish charm. So this one, it does have a front and a back to it, so you need to make sure that you're going in the correct direction. So I'm adding jump ring number 6. I ended up using the same amount of jump rings on this one as well as the other one. So this is jump ring number 6. And I'm turning it around this way so I can know, okay, which way is which, that I need to go through the pufferfish and go through the hole on the charm and then close this one up. These jump rings keep jumping out of my hands. Dropped it again. I was having problems earlier too, that's why I did not come back and show you anything, because I was having issues with holding on to the jump rings. There we go. Okay, let's get this guy on right. And if you happen to put him on backwards, you just take the jump ring off and switch him around. That's all you have to do. So it's really not a big deal. It's just a matter of taking your charm off again and fixing it. Okay, now those jump rings are pretty much closed. Now I can just finish closing it like that. And then when you get your second one done, you have now project number 9 complete. So there is 9, and then I will get project number 8 out. So similar patterns, but completely different look. If you enjoyed this video, but you're needing more earring inspiration, I've got you covered. Go to the description down below, and I have a playlist linked down there with all the different earring tutorials that I've created over the last several months. So get yourself inspired by watching one or more of those. Don't forget to hit that like button, the subscribe button, as well as that notification bell, so that way you'll be notified when I come out with my next video. I'll see you on that next one. Bye now.